We're both very stubborn people, but even we are capable of learning things. And here are the 10 things that we learned from our first year of farming.
Number 1, flowers are beautiful. And Ian made fun of me for that one because he said, obviously flowers are beautiful, you didn't learn that. But I would say that we didn't appreciate how much value having the flower farm section would bring to us in our first year farming. We had first the crazy amount of beauty that it added to our farm. So anytime we had people stop and pick up things, when they were visiting the farm, it was always the first thing that drew their attention. And I feel like it left a really good impression.
Yeah, one of the things we want people to do is to come back. So, having this beautiful location, I wanted people to be like, I can't possibly go the rest of my life without coming back to this farm. and so the flowers definitely helped build the mystique.
And the amount of, bug life, like positive bug life that came from having those flowers was really incredible. Every time I was making bouquets at night, I'd have to take out, multiple amounts of bumblebees that were asleep in the flowers. And our next door neighbors, who when we moved in had a single beehive, this year expanded and added like 4 new beehives a lot closer.
Yeah, conveniently right along the fence line
of where we grow stuff. And that flower patch definitely fed a lot of those bees for a long四The flowers also had huge value at our market stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, not only did they bring value to us back at the farm, but also huge value at the farmer's market.
Number 2 is utilize color. A rainbow of different veggies spread across our table when we were doing our farmer's market stand really drew people's eyes and brought people over. Every single market we'd have people telling us, they'd be like, oh, this is the most beautiful display in the entire market. And it really upped our value because it's not like we were the discount sellers, for pricing and stuff. We weren't like crazy high, but the beautiful colors helped justify the premium price for some of our products. And it just made people want to spend more time like interacting with the booth.
Yeah. And that was something that I hadn't planned. It just happened out that when we brought what we grew to market, it actually was a good variety of colors. This year, as I'm looking at what seeds and what varieties we should purchase, I'm definitely keeping that color spread in mind, and I'm going to kind of take the idea and run with it a little bit for next year. Number 3 is food is really easy to sell. This is something that I had underestimated when we kind of made plans for selling at the farmer's market. I hadn't really considered the fact that every single person coming to the farmer's market is your customer, because every single person eats food. It's, it's not like if you're selling baby stuff and everyone has to have a baby in their life or, anything else, like the number of customers that you can convert is really high.
Our sales at the farmers markets were actually a lot higher than we were expecting. The local one we didn't think was going to be as big and profitable as it was. We thought that we'd only be able to sell $400 at the best market of them all, and we were topping out around $700 a market. So that gave us, the promise that market would actually be something that we could make money on through the years, because I'm sure we could sell more than we did in our first year at it. It's only going to get bigger and bigger as our community grows. Number 4, starting a farm business is hard. Everybody knows that first year and early year businesses are prone to failure, and it feels like a farm business would be even more so to that, because the costs are insane. You know, everything that you need 50 of, or 100 of, or 300 of, and so something that costs, you know, even just $1 each, you know, the prices really add up, and it seems like every time you turn around, you need more of this and more of that. And then when it comes time to sell the products, even though, you know, people like to buy food, it is one of those things where they're like, I don't know, I'm not going to spend that extra dollar on that thing. So business can be tough to actually make money. And we met our goals for the year, but we've also, you know, we're not in our 20s or anything like that. I'm almost 40, and Serina's getting up there too. So we have like established resources, and we planned to not make money this first year. And we met our sales goals for the season, but that still meant that we lost money for the year. And year 2, you know, we may make some money, but it can't be, it's not going to support the household. It's not till, you know, year 3 when the profits start to come in. So the farm business is not something that you can just necessarily jump into in the first year and be living off of the income. You have to, you know, put some years into it.
Yeah, it really, how hard it is kind of really cemented as a reality for me, because we actually met a young couple at our farmers market who were starting a farm for the first year, you know, kind of, you know, same as us, like out there getting started, you know, and their stuff was beautiful. They grew really, really beautiful food, and you know, I was always wishing I could be as good as they were. And by the end of the year, they, you know, we heard that they'd actually broken up and like weren't going to be farming anymore. And, you know, it's sad to think that, you know, out of the handful of people that are like us that started this year, that, you know, we're sitting here feeling like our first year was a success. But, you know, people are also, you know, completely, everything is completely failing for others, and, you know, it's hard. Yeah.
Even our season, us considering it a success, it could have been a failure from somebody else's.
From someone else's, because we lost money.
Yeah.
We spent more money than we made. Number 5 is grow things that can be eaten raw. People don't cook, and this is something that I hadn't really thought about at all until I was watching some videos from Never Sink Farms on YouTube. And, you know, as a passing comment, he said that in one of his videos, and it really resonated with me, and I kind of mulled over that all last winter when I was kind of planning the farm, and it kind of was an idea that I took and ran with, and it's been proven to me to be even more true than I thought it would be. One of the crops that I thought we'd have good success with was beets. I thought, oh, baby beets, people would love them, and they were a really hard sell. We sold hardly any beets, and, you know, in hindsight, I'm sitting here going, well, yeah, because you gotta cook them. Beets aren't carrots. Carrots, you know,
Well, I like raw beets in my salad, but most people don't.
and we like beets. But yeah, the people who were buying our carrots liked that we had little baby carrots because they were eating them raw. The people who were buying our bunches of kale were using them for smoothies. You know, everyone loved the salad. You know, I had multiple people say that they love the salad because they come home from work and dump it straight into a bowl and eat it. And it was a fast, quick meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The going for the, you know, basically snack food of vegetables seems like it's a really good idea for us to keep with going into future years.
Yeah. Number 6, you aren't as good as you think you are. Serina thought that the farm would take about 30 hours of maintenance work during the heart of the summer, when in reality it was more like 80 hours. Like, we were just fully occupied, especially like the farmer's market would take essentially a day's worth of effort, and the day before would take
2 of us.
Yeah, the 2 of us.
Yeah.
And the day before would take a similar
good 12 hours
of harvesting and preparing and, you know, prepping and stuff. And some of that is the fact that we didn't have all the efficiencies that we will in the future. But, you know, like lots of that was just working our butts off.
It takes time.
Yeah. And so we maybe didn't appreciate the workload as much. Also, for one of us to do something, the other one has to watch the kids a lot. Like our kids were 5 and 3 or 4 and 2 or whatever through the summer. So, you know, like that factors into it as well. But just don't, if you are planning for the summer, don't, you know, think that you're going to be able to do everything. And because basically how it went was I was building infrastructure until about June, and then as soon as the farmers markets hit, like we didn't have time to do any sort of upgrades to the property. It was just go with the farmers markets and the harvesting and, you know, the selling. That was our only efforts.
I'm trying really hard at this point in planning for next year to not make this mistake again. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, I can add on double, I can do triple what we did last year, because even though it feels like I can right now, I know I won't. It's going to be the same thing. I need to plan for what I think can get done in 30 hours again to make sure that it doesn't go beyond two full-time laborers.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 7 is spend money on efficiencies. We didn't spend a lot of money this past year. We kind of kept our money to just what we absolutely needed to spend on. And, you know, we're sitting here now going, you know, something like a $300 hoe, which is something that I purchased, it doesn't seem as expensive after having done a year where, you know, shaving 10 minutes of weeding a day off of, you know, our season would have, you know, been a huge savings overall. You know, definitely something worth spending $300 on. You know, and there's other things. There's so many things that we couldn't expand our production. Like one thing we've been talking about is irrigation. We have irrigation set up, but we manually need to turn it on. We manually need to change the zones. And because of that, it means that there's only so many hours a day that we can have the water running. And when, you know, there's 20 zones and each zone needs to be on for an hour, you know, we were running into the point that some things were getting underwatered because we just didn't have the ability to manually turn that on and off. And once we get some automated irrigation and it just is done for us, it's going to make a huge difference for labor. So there's a lot of these things where it feels like it's expensive, but something that'll save you even a minute a day of labor, that, you know, that investment into the farm business is just going to keep paying off every single day that your farm business continues. So that's where we want to spend in the future.
Number 8, farmers markets are fun. Basically, we had zero social life for, you know, the spring, summer, and fall of last year. And all of our personal interactions were either people coming to the farm or us going to farmers markets. And so those interactions with people we valued a lot. And it was fun. You know, it was fun to talk to people about farming or, you know, food, things that we obviously are passionate about.
It was hard to complain about the farmers market because we'd literally stand there and people would throw money and compliments at us for the entire time it ran. It, you know, is definitely not a bad way to spend a couple hours.
Yeah. Serina loves compliments, so it worked well for her.
So make sure to thumbs up this video to show me all those compliments.
The flowers did look nice. And your produce was amazing.
It was beautiful produce. Mm-hmm. Number 9, 50% of what we grew, we didn't sell.
Our neighbors have chickens and they got lots of what we grew this year.
And there's lots of reasons too, beyond just, it being buggy. We had lots of crops that completely failed because they went to seed before we could harvest them. We had tons of crops that failed because they were full of bugs, and so we couldn't sell them. Tons of things that I put seed into the ground. It didn't germinate properly.
Seed trays that didn't get planted.
Yeah, seed trays that didn't get planted because we didn't have time.
Our first market wasn't until June.
Yeah, and we had food ready mid-May.
Yeah.
Also, there's still stuff in the ground. Like we have 2.5 full beds of carrots still in the ground, and that's stuff that if we would have pulled it out and had a place to sell it, would have sold.
Carrots were one of our best seller.
Yeah.
And even still, we had 2.5 beds more than we sold.
Beets. I had 4 full beds of baby beets, and they didn't even get touched. They're just garbage now at this point. Anything that we put the labor into to actually wash and prep for the farmer's market, we didn't waste. That stuff we at least got down to the food bank always. But yeah, even though we feel like we really successfully grew well this year, half of it wasn't. Half of it was garbage.
And, one of the things that will benefit from this upcoming season is we're going to have a roadside stand. So stuff that has been harvested can just go out on the stand if we don't have a market to sell it at right away. So, that's going to hopefully result in profits.
Yeah, having more that we are able to sell means that there won't be waste of stuff that grows really well and we can't get it to market before, it gets past its prime. And also, we're investing into pest protection for this upcoming year so that we don't have all these crops that, are full of bugs and can't be sold.
Yeah. Number 10.
Oh, that's 15.
Number 10, being a weed farm isn't profitable. Some of those failures that we were just talking about came because the weeds were just, the weed pressure was too much and we couldn't keep up. We would have beds that even when we did weed them, they had just been there too long, and so the veggies never developed fully. They were just stunted and they didn't really result in much. And we're hoping we've got some strategies to combat the weeds going forward. Lots of kind of barriers between the grass and the farm areas are going to be going in with landscape fabric, and we'll probably tarp new areas that we're trying to open up and just let it sit all summer with tarps on it, or all kinds of different things. We're gonna have
even it just being the second year means that it will be easier. And I think another part of it is we weren't able to be on the ball about weeds when you need to be because everything was, behind schedule. We wanted all of our infrastructure to be done early on. It didn't get done at all. We wanted to be transplanting things in May, and a lot of it didn't get into the ground until end of June, which caused huge issues.
Yeah.
Everything just being, us understand the consequences of being so far behind schedule will make it so we can be on top of those weeds.
In conclusion, learn from our mistakes. Whether you are a farm or just a gardener, I think that there's some valuable lessons in there about, keeping things into controlled amounts. It's better to have full control over, a smaller area than to have no control over a larger area. Right?
At very least, we can go back and watch this come spring and remind ourselves of things we shouldn't do 2020. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotta do better second year farming.
Yep.
Than first year farming.
No more excuses. Thanks for checking out our video. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. And hit that like button because our comments are turned off. So we don't really get the feedback on whether people like our videos anymore, and the engagement really helps to keep our channel alive.
And stay tuned, because we haven't been doing much on here because we haven't been doing much on the farm, but March 1st, that's when it starts.
Yep.
Seed starting begins, and we're gonna hopefully have an even crazier year than last year.
Yeah. Stay tuned for Serina's 4-hour live video.
Yeah, if you like
of
seeds,
seed starting.
if you like seeds, I'll probably be talking about seeds sometime in the near future. Okay, see you guys next time.
Bye.